I'm John Lowe, and coming up on WVU News, I will tell you what the city of Morgantown is doing to help those affected by the partial government shutdown.
I'm Shayla Klein, and coming up next on WVU News, I'll tell you how the opioid epidemic is affecting thousands of kids in the Mountain State.
I'm Claudia Sessa, and coming up next, I'll tell you about a new city code that'll help keep your pets safe. Our Emmy Award-winning WVU News starts now.
Federal employees went over a month without pay, and some in the Morgantown area had to find ways to make ends meet. I'm Christine Robinson.
And I'm Claudia Sessa. The opioid epidemic is hitting close to home, and it's affecting our foster care system.
These stories and more on WVU News, an Emmy Award-winning newscast produced by journalism students right here at West Virginia University.
800,000 federal workers did not see a paycheck for 35 days, including some right here in Morgantown.
But the furloughed workers were able to get help from the city of Morgantown as well as some local businesses. John Lowe has the story.
Morgantown City Council approved a proposal no council ever wants to have to approve: the deferment of payments for people affected by the federal government shutdown. Councilman Ryan Wallace, who spearheaded the proposal, talks about how he first came up with the idea.
I started hearing about the impact that the lack of a paycheck was having on some friends, honestly, social media. The posts started popping up that, hey, if anybody knows any good deals in town for restaurants or food, let us know. You know, some of my friends actually are affected by the government shutdown.
The city of Morgantown will defer all fees, including fire protection and permits. Also, all monthly parking permits given by the Morgantown Parking Authority will be given a deferred payment plan as well. The generosity given to these federal workers isn't just limited to the city of Morgantown. Other businesses and organizations have followed in the city's footsteps, including WVU. WVU is providing financial assistance on tuition payments for any full or part-time students affected by the shutdown, and the Morgantown Utility Board will defer all payments for their federal employees.
I think that really shows you know, our care and concern for one another. I think that's what's really important here. You know, it did affect their paychecks for government workers, but it affects us all in the long run. I mean, you know, we are all one society.
You know, what really makes a big difference is the fact that they continue to work during the government shutdown with their pay on furlough. And that's really what it's about. I mean, they had a duty to do, and they stepped to it.
If you are a federal employee in need of assistance, please go to these websites for more information. John Lowe, WVU News in Morgantown.
In West Virginia, almost 7,000 children are in foster care. That's almost double from 10 years ago. Officials say the cause of the increase is the opioid epidemic. Shayla Klein joins us now from Studio B at the Media Innovation Center with her segment, Storytelling with Data. Shayla?
West Virginia legislators are working on a child welfare reform bill that will make it easier for families to adopt a foster care child. Currently, foster kids are filling up emergency shelters because not enough families can take them in. So if you've ever thought about becoming a foster care parent, now might be the right time. I spoke with a family who has made it their life mission to open their hearts to kids who need a home. When you walk into the Keller household, the first thing you'll notice are all the family photos. But there's something special about this family. Dwayne and Joni are foster parents, and all these kids were once in the foster care system.
It's good to be able to help the kids and help them through their challenges and help them get settled either back with their parents or grandparents or with a forever home.
But as the drug epidemic rises, foster kids are flooding the system. In just 5 years, the number of kids in foster care has risen by more than 2,000 kids. And now foster agencies are having trouble finding enough foster families to meet the demand.
It's not the best feeling when you get a call and you don't have anywhere for that child. It's a wake-up call for everybody.
Some kids can live with a relative or get adopted right away. But for others, finding a forever home can feel like a game of chance. Only about 50% of foster kids are in permanent homes. For the other half, they could be bounced from home to home until they're kicked out of the system.
You know, it's not the kid's fault. Children are children, whether they're in foster care, whether they're biological children, they're all the same. All of them want structure, all of them want love,
For foster kids, having a foster family represents stability and allows them to feel at home when they lack a permanent residence. The Family First Prevention Services Act, signed into federal law last year, aims to reduce the number of children who end up in foster care in the first place by helping families stay together. This is the largest reboot of the child welfare system since 1980, and it's too soon to tell if this legislation is working. Now back to you at the Waterfront Studio.
Many are not aware of a law in the city of Morgantown which deals with the cruel treatment of animals. I explored this fairly new law at a recent city council meeting and will explain how violating this ordinance means up to a $500 fine and jail time. Morgantown City Ordinance 18-32 was recently put into effect due to the harsh winter weather. This ordinance makes it illegal to tether your dog outside for more than 30 minutes if the temperature drops below 32 degrees.
I think that this is a move in the right direction for taking care of our furry friends in Morgantown. Most people will just continue with their lives as though there is no difference. This new change in the law will really only impact folks who need to take better care of their animals.
This ordinance also regulates the conditions that a dog can be left outside in, such as the length of the tether, what type of tether, and if the dog has access to food and fresh water. The city ordinance reinforces the idea that if it is too cold outside for you, then it is too cold outside for your dog. In the case of violating this complaint-based code, the dog will be taken and put into protective care. If someone is found in violation, they could face a penalty of up to $300 to $500. Rachel Kaufman is a dog lover and had not heard about the new city code.
I wish there was more protocols about, what to do and who to call, and that people were more aware of what to do.
There are plenty of ways to make sure that your dog is comfortable in the winter weather. Buying your dog boots can help protect their feet from salt and avoid antifreeze at all costs. Sealing your doggy door for the winter can help regulate how much time your pet spends outdoors. Veterinarians say to also check your pet's paws for signs of damage from the cold weather.
Thanks for that story, Claudia. When you Google the word robotics, almost 500 million sites pop up.
That's right, Christine. So it's no wonder that the field of robotics is booming. Some local students have taken their knowledge of how to build a robot to an international level. Carly Van Iver joins us now from Social Square to explain. Carly.
Thanks, Claudia. With STEM jobs, or jobs in science, technology, engineering, and math being the future workforce of the U.S., early STEM education is more important than ever. And a group of young engineers from Morgantown are already on track. Their robotics team is headed to a competition in South America this spring, and I went to find out how they're preparing for it and why it's so important to them. The Flaming Unidroids are a LEGO robotics team of elementary and middle school students from Morgantown. The team solves challenges by building and designing and programming their own robots, making it a fun way to learn STEM skills.
I mean, that's really fantastic to see them come up with an idea that a coach or an adult wouldn't think of, because they're playing. And through play, they're learning engineering, science, technology, and math.
And this experience is going to have a lasting impact on these future engineers.
I feel like building and programming, it's all going to help us in the long run. It's going to help us into good colleges and help us help humanity in the end.
Many sources online point to robotics engineering being on the rise as a career for the future generation. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, the robotics engineer job market is expected to grow in the next 5 years. That means that these students are getting a jump start on becoming robotics engineers and making a salary of around $90,000 a year. As for now, the team is continuing to work hard to prepare for their competition in Uruguay this spring.
I definitely think we need to become a little more serious, and I think we should definitely work more on our robot to get it to become almost flawless.
The Flaming Unidroids are hosting fundraisers and started a GoFundMe to raise money for their trip to Uruguay. If you would like to help this group of 7 students compete in this international competition, you can donate at the address on your screen. The competition is May 30th to June 1st.
Thanks, Carly. What an experience for those students to be able to travel and compete in South America. We wish them the best of luck.
It does sound fun. Coming up after the break, Chris Marzullo joins us in the studio to talk about a special event during the WVU women's basketball game against Kansas State.
We conquer mountains, but that's not why they call us mountaineers. It's because we don't let anything stand in our way. We build what's never been built. Seek cures for the incurable. And go first into undiscovered frontiers. We are mountaineers, and impossible is just another mountain to climb.
Quiet and ready in control room. 3, 2, 1. Fade in bumper. Roll.
WVU News is local, in-depth, and always on the move for you. And it's always on YouTube, on the web, and on the Reed College of Media website. A national first-place Emmy Award-winning college newscast taped at the Waterfront Studio at West Virginia University. Stay in the know, stay connected, watch WVU News.
The WVU women's basketball team has been on a hot streak on the hardwood.
But something you may not have heard about is what happened during halftime at the Kansas State against Kansas State. Sports anchor Chris Marzullo has more. Chris?
Thanks, Christine. Claudia. A group of elite twirlers decided to make dreams come true when they hosted an event that gave kids the chance to become a featured twirler for a day. Almost 100 participants signed up for the day-long event and got to showcase what they practiced to a crowd of thousands. This clinic was held at the WVU Student Rec Center for 4 hours. As you can see here, kids of all ages came out to show their skills and learn what it really takes to be a WVU twirler. Once the performers were ready, they took to the Coliseum where they got to show off their new skills at the halftime show at the WVU women's basketball game against Kansas State. Proceeds from the Twirler 4-Day program go towards the WVU Featured Twirler Scholarship Fund. I spoke with several of the young kids who said it really was a dream come true. Christine, Claudia, back to you.
Thanks, Chris. The Twirler for a Day event looked like a lot of fun.
I bet those kids had a blast. Well, that's it for this week's edition of WVU News. You can visit us online on our website.
You can also watch our shows on YouTube, and please follow us and our reporters on Twitter. I'm Christine Robinson.
And I'm Claudia Sessa. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.